fight, which would...
You'll see when we start, which should be soon. We have Natborn versus Pasta, a match that was supposed to be a few hours earlier. Of course, it got delayed a bit because Pasta was asleep, which is perfectly okay, smiley face.
We're all good.
Nothing has gone wrong today.
Everything's been figured out. We're all good. We're here. We're ready to play and watch some Sonic Adventure.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a good day for some good gaming.
Good day for some good gaming. This is true. I am ready to see this race, ready to see the nightmare scenario that we'll be watching Pasta Nova Delight gameplay. If you watch his streams, you know this is perfectly intentional. And it looks like they're off. They're both starting with Knuckles, which I feel is pretty standard procedure. Natborn playing in English while Pasta is playing in Japanese. This will save him just a quick second in this first cutscene. And yeah, Pasta's playing in stretch res, in case you can tell. It is a nightmare scenario and is very disorienting.
It's a little weird to watch, but that's okay, as Nat has a slight, I mean very slight lead, going into Speed Highway.
I do think that lead might be a bit fake, because he did start a bit earlier. Pasta getting a literal IL set. What a god. Misplaying by killing the other enemy, but that is literally IL set. He gets a 15-second Speed Highway. How?
Yeah, a 15-second Speed Highway. That is crazy good.
That is now the best set you've seen this whole tournament. The best Speed Highway you've seen this whole tournament.
At 31 seconds is not even that terrible for Speed Highway for a race setting.
But Pasta just blowing out of the water over half the time spent in Speed Highway now while on his way Casinopolis.
Good climb as
dropping
he hits the casino button.
Immediate 2 pings. This is good omens for Pasta going up to the top floor to check for his piece 3. Gets Lion.
Gets the Lion piece. Misses the fly into the lion mouth. Misses the spring. It's given Nat a chance to catch up. Nat misses the barrel. Yep. Another lion piece as well. Gonna opt and wait for the roar to get the spring. That's the more consistent way to do it. Then knows that his next piece is down here. So that lead that was gained in Speed Highway is almost
now gone. That's what Knuckles does to you. You don't pick up a good set. That's just how it is.
That's just how it is. And wow, you really can see everything here.
This widescreen layout is quite the spectacle. No cream skip from Pasta. Natborn loading into the cutscene now.
Nat, does he get it? Nat, no longer a
cream
foreign
skip
creamer.
From either. Oh my god, why do you say that?
This Pasta's first into Chaos too.
This will be the set of all time with us on comms. And Pasta's stretched res saddest gaming.
Okay, I actually cannot look.
This
oh my god,
Chaos
alright,
2
Nat.
is so cursed. Nat, please save us.
Good.
A good setup so far. And
No,
of course,
what
Commentator's
happened?
Curse. I own
Alright, it's alright. He got
also losing
hit.
5 seconds in Chaos 2 as compared to Natborn.
I wonder why Sonic is
Pasta dead as hell. Having to restart his game.
No, what happened?
This is honestly expected with the widescreen. Hopefully his save data is okay. Honestly, I'm not too surprised with this. He did crash. Natborn getting the Shovel Claws shoutouts.
Shoutouts. No, Nat, again.
You learned.
Not that
You learned,
okay.
please.
I really thought that he
Also having to go
past the
through
other gate.
Chaos 2 again. As Natborn now running away with this race with that crash, which is very sad to see.
I was so scared for Nat. I thought he lost the switch on that gate this time.
He needs to stop throwing the monkey destruction switch.
To stop throwing it.
It's risky. It doesn't even save that much time. especially in that first monkey scene. I don't know why you do it if it wasn't an
Okay,
accident.
there we
and
go.
there you go, learning from his mistake last time. I guess he didn't consider that
it's the
it could
back
happen
piece.
with the first one. It is the
He's-
piece one behind the spawn.
Checking for the volcano piece. It's not up there. Okay.
Knows he doesn't have to go behind the volcano.
I agree with a lot of the decisions made so far. That makes sense.
I still think it's a bit better
did
here
Pasta
to
crash
just...
again?
Did he actually... Did he... What? As Natborn takes a death, what is this race?
Okay.
Natborn getting the piece 2 at the end of spawn.
26
This
Red
is
Mountain,
an awesome
not
race.
bad.
Good enough.
Has this ever happened to Pasta? Who knows? Has Natborn out of Red Mountain. No dig.
No,
Solid runs from both players. True that. Definitely a solid run. Having to replay Chaos 2 twice. So sad.
I believe this is his third go around with Chaos 2.
It is. Third time's the third. What is it? What's the saying? I'm actually shutting down. Yes, thank you. Third time's the charm. My brain is shutting off. No crash this time. Let's hope. And he's out.
And he's
into
out.
The Mystic Ruins.
He's in the Mystic Ruins.
God.
Oh, jeez, it's so bad when he goes fast.
Thank the Lord
Chaos.
he has blessed Pasta today.
Chaos 4 with Nat now as he flies from lily pad to lily pad, punching him in the cranium every time he comes up, as you do. I will say, Pasta crashing, but I'll be this aside. This has been a very strong showcase from Nat.
This is definitely true. Natborn has gotten pretty good at RNG.
And he's had some really good execution and some really good backup strats. I like his routing a lot and his decision making so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I do think it's a bit better to do what Pasta is doing here, it seems, is just drop down immediately. Maybe I spoke too soon. He's flying to the volcano. Also, I am currently watching the Android phone version of this stream through a restream bot. I want to give
it is quite... It's not just you.
Yeah, good. Yeah, see, Pasta... I don't know if it's just, like, the strat isn't very widely used, but I do like a lot when rudders just drop down and then restart afterwards.
It is smart.
Because there, Pasta got a absolutely fantastic set, but because he checked the volcano, he lost a good bit of time. I can't tell how much time, because the timer is literally 2 pixels, but that's perfectly okay. We are not struggling at all here. I will say, there's about a 20-second difference in their timers because of the game crashes. Whenever you crash, the auto-splitter will pause your timer because the game is not open, so it cannot read the frames. Typically, the auto-splitter will just act as a frame counter, so there's a bit of a deficit between these two. Natborn heading off to the second key, the silver key, after throwing the gold one down. We'll see if he can get there cleanly. Jungle movement is quite tricky. It is one of the worst aspects of Knuckles, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, jungle movement is very, very difficult. Very easy to mess up and get stuck. Everything around here feels like it's made of glue.
Yeah. That's just how walls are in Statics. Boy, I do love this game. As Pasta in Chaos 4, Natborn heading off, climbing up the wall instead of jumping up the 2 platforms.
No jumps.
Heading up for his safe strat.
And this is what I was talking about in Nat's last set. While it's not the fastest strat in the world, he is extremely consistent with how he does Lost World.
Yeah, definitely. Consistency is what matters here in these races. So you'll want to stick to what you know, stick to what you can do. Do not bleed time everywhere. Bleeding time can be a killer, especially if you're ahead like Natborn is right now. Nearly a minute separating them. Or nearly 2 minutes, I think. Because Pasta has about 30 seconds left in Chaos 4.
Chaos 4, one of the bosses of all time. Not too much you can do beyond just fly to your lily pads, and wow, look, you see the whole pond.
That is crazy that you can see the entire pond with Pasta's res. I have to look over to Natborn's screen because I am getting eye strain.
Yeah.
But Natborn is flying off to Skydeck now. This, of course, change everything, even with the two Chaos 2 crashes. I mean, you never know how Skydeck's gonna go. It could be a nightmare. But here's hoping that Natborn gets a good
with a good Skydeck set, Nat could keep his lead going. Now Pasta is able to execute on the worst sets a little bit better than Nat is. But if Nat gets a good set, he could be pretty well set up to continue on with the rest of this tournament. Pasta is an Amy specialist, which I'm imagining if they're going the traditional KAG route, is going to be up next, which is probably going to be where Pasta makes up the most of his time. But Nat's Gamma is no slouch.
I don't know if that lag spike was on both ends of the stream, but I definitely agree, Mr. Robot Witherman.
It was not. I did not robot on my end, I don't think. Nat does not have...
If you are turning into a robot, that is cause for concern.
No, that'd be kind of based. No.
Okay, that's true. Natborn going for the wall run.
Going for the wall run. He does have his first piece. He was correct to do so. He has gotten his third. He has just one piece left.
I believe his second piece is the back of the
yeah, it's probably
stage.
The Badnik, right?
Yeah, because you would see the piece 2 that's inside that cart piece or on top while running up.
That's a
Pasta
good set.
clearing with a good Lost World. I believe 13 seconds. But again, can't tell. 2 pixels.
It was 13 seconds. On
13 seconds.
The very good execution on Skydeck for Nat. Nat, he's got a good Knuckles run so far. This is very impressive.
Definitely agree. This is a pretty solid Knuckles run. This looks to be a 12:30 about if he has a good Chaos 6. Because Chaos 6 from here, about a minute. Probably closer to 45 seconds, but...
Yeah, according to Sound Defense, Nat is currently ahead by just over 2 minutes, which is a pretty big lead being out of Skydeck. With Pasta not even
Pasta's aiming expertise.
It's going to have to come to full force.
Yeah. He's going to aiming and then keep it ahead in Gamma. As Natborn looks to have potentially missed a Freezy for Chaos 6. That could be a big problem if he doesn't get one close to him here. Because Chaos 6 will transform if he spends too much time in this, his first state. Natborn luckily seeming to pick up the pieces of what could have been a disastrous boss fight. A 12:30 for Knuckles, it seems. As Pasta loading into Skydeck, this is an insane view. Looks to get a piece 3 in the cage, and then a piece 2 in the middle section. That could be potentially dangerous if it's a cart piece. Natborn loading into Amy.
I'm not exactly sure how you'd even go for the clip like this.
This cage piece sucks. What I do is I get the speed shoes from the middle and then run up the cage because I do not like this piece. And it is a dig piece, which is...
But thankfully it's one of the ones that's
stroke of
uncovered.
luck. Yeah. That can be quite dangerous as he gets the first piece, which he would have known from not getting it earlier. That it seems to be a pretty good Skydeck, the only real hiccup there being the cage piece, which that cage piece is frankly one of the worst pieces in the entire game, so I do not blame him for struggling with it.
Good showing from both players so far. That Skydeck was very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Pasta could have just been saved by some very good RNG in Skydeck, as Natborn loading into Twinkle Perk with Amy. Pasta making his way to Chaos 6. I do not believe Natborn even goes for Castle Skip, because he doesn't know it. Yeah, just heading straight into the castle.
Go!
And a perfect mirror room skip. The good camera angle as well.
And we've seen before, Nat's mirror room movement is remarkable. This is the exact line he took last time. That is crazy.
The consistency.
The consistency.
Pasta doing the pretty typical Chaos 6 kill. Natborn does opt for a different strat, so he might be able to make up some time, because this setup is pretty consistent as long as you can hit the freezies react to where they are. That might be bad. And he misses a freezie, which could be potentially dangerous. Getting one just right there, though, could save him. Pick it up. There we go. 40-ish Chaos 4. Or Chaos 6 as 39. He finishes up.
It's really squeezed. He is finalized with his knuckles as Nat is going into Hedgehog Hammer.
An exciting point for Pasta where he could make up a good chunk of time. He did finish with a 1440, I believe. So that's about a minute or two between them. Yeah, minute 59 between them. Pasta could, of course, make this up with good Amy play. We'll see just how good he can get it. Missing Cream Skip the first try, getting it third try. That's a bit of time loss compared to not going for it, which I'm not sure if Natborn did, but...
Don't believe he got it. There we go. Corner skip. He's already moving on for the rest of his hub world movement. Does he get the car boost? That is the last thing to look for, I would say, before we head into Twinkle Park. That is not going to be a car boost.
Sad. Natborn loading into Hot Shelter, the her
Doesn't
style.
Get the elevator clip.
This is where Natborn, if Pasta later on plays really well, could lose a lot of time to very minor mistakes could cost a ton of time here in Hot Shelter, so Natborn wants to play as clean as he can. Saving himself from taking a swim as Pasta climbing up the castle. Let's see if he can hit this last jump, and he hits it. That's a good 30-second time save compared to Natborn not even going for castle skip, getting a good 50-second Twinkle Park castle. That's a big time save for Pasta. Once again, his Amy expertise, Pasta being top 3 in Amy, could be his saving grace here.
Yeah, for sure. Nat, so far, though, his Amy's nothing to sneeze at. His level of consistency has been very remarkable. He's not going for the hardest strats possible with Amy, like he's opting out of Castle Skip. But it doesn't... If he keeps this level of consistency up, his Knuckles might be enough to carry him. His Gamma is also very good.
Yeah, definitely. While Natborn is on the bridge, shout out to Thethys, who made these wonderful layouts, and also Seamorg for doing the art in the bottom left, or bottom right. I know my directions.
The bottom left, I believe, is game art, but yeah, the art in the bottom right is
left is game art.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, Nat opting immediately for the puzzle room. I agree.
Yeah, if you don't know the puzzle skip here, it can be pretty tough. Pasta loading into his hometown of Hot Shelter. I expect a pretty good performance here because he is very practiced in this stage. This is probably his most played IL, probably his most played stage in the entire game.
And there's that zero smack from Nat again as we approach the end of Hot Shelter. Stuff, Sluice right in.
Natborn getting the clip in, that's huge for him, because he needs that to keep this lead. If he had to do puzzle, that would have been another big time loss. Doing the puzzle earlier, Pasta is definitely not going for that, unless he manages to mess up the skip that is literally named after him, which would be quite the surprise. Of course, anything is possible. Pasta getting a very clean left side on the gears there.
Pasta's Hot Shelter so far has been fantastic, but who's surprised?
No one, I think.
This is
a banger.
World. Whoa.
Getting the greatest bridge skip, going for the girder skip into puzzle room for the speed boost. Setting up his camera. Nails it. Of course,
Instant.
that's going to be a huge time save for him. Even getting the run on the left side. Pasta is popping off here. He knows he needs this.
He's got about a minute back.
He's on route for a 140, which is incredible in a no reset race. And of course, I had to say something. It is now a 142, which is an incredible hot shelter. He has made up a lot of time here compared to Natborn. He played out of his mind, but of course, we're coming up on a leg for Natborn, and this could change everything. People in the chat absolutely popping off over how sick Hot Shelter is. It's
so cool.
So hot.
It's so shelter.
Pasta made up nearly 52 seconds. That is incredible.
That's
what
so
happens when
good.
you're a top tier Amy runner. You can make up a lot of time in Hot Shelter.
It's such a the difference really between if you are a specialist in one of these categories, you can salvage an entire CAG run by just decimating the other person in that one area. And that being said, though, Nat's Amy is still pretty good, and it's been good enough to keep him in the lead. I'm not sure how big of the difference the Knuckles is going to be at the end, because the Amy's are going to be very close. I think RNG is going to change a lot with the doors here.
Ultimately, with Knuckles being the first story in their runs, it could very well be meaningless because of their experience with the other stories. Pasta, of course, playing out of his mind right now, but of course, doors could change everything as Natborn takes the elevator up, has a small corridor right before he has to get good RNG. Pasta likely going to be going for Banana Clip and Wall Float, because he has those tools in his pocket. He knows he's behind because surely Natborn would take advantage of his crashes in Chaos 2. So Pasta can basically play with the
door 1. He went for door 5 and got it immediately.
Natborn getting door 1, that could be fantastic for him.
It's so
Pasta
big.
Missing Banana Clip, which is sad. I imagine he's still... No, he's going for the elevator, just failing on the flip out with 0 there, which I honestly understand. It could be quite intimidating. Natborn, that door 1 might just keep his lead pretty nice and tight.
Yeah.
Pasta will lose a good 4 seconds or so for going for Banana Clip and then missing it. And if he... Whereas that could stand for, which is very...
Nat has been keeping the dog in him this race. He has been pedal to the metal the whole time. It's impressive how hard Nat has been grinding for this, and you can tell the difference between earlier to now. It's ridiculous. Nat has grown so much. He's made so many improvements from his previous mistakes. He's playing so exceptionally well. And Pasta is struggling with the doors. Oh no.
This is sad to see. This is definitely not what you want to see as Pasta. You, of course, don't know what Natborn got, but a door, I believe that was...
4.
Yeah, door 4. That's really tough to see. A 150, that's tough. Natborn loading into 0. Of course, 0 can be a tricky boss, so it is possible if Pasta plays well on 0 that he makes up a good chunk of time. But first, we have to see how Natborn will execute, and so far, having some trouble with these attacks, which I have experienced a lot.
Oh yeah. I've had some issues with 0 myself. I know exactly what this feels like, but it's okay as Nat cleans it up. Nat's going straight to Gamma now, retaining his lead out of Amy.
Preparation complete.
It's what you want to see is Nat, because you know going into this that Pasta will probably get a better aiming time than you, so just keeping that lead. Of course, Natborn, I assume, doesn't know that Pasta crashed twice in Chaos 2, so we'll be playing quite a bit behind just because of that.
So far, so good on this straight line path as Nat reaches the Sonic Doll. Pops a cap in him. That's a good start. Good final egg for Nat. As Pasta comes up to 0. Oh, wow. That's the whole arena, huh?
This is arch nemesis.
This looks insane.
This does absolutely unhinged.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, just going for the little smack when you've got the iframes. I understand. Oh, Beta did a flip.
Sad to see. You definitely don't want to see any of these bosses jump with Gamma. Pasta loading into Gamma. This is actually the hardest gameplay I've ever seen of Sadix with the Fisheye Lens Gamma run. Gamma looks so sick. This is literally like a Skate 3 gameplay.
Going down the half pipe.
Absolute Chad. This is the skating sim that I want from EA. As he gets a perfectly fine final egg. Natborn loading and going through Emerald Coast now.
Good pillar
going for
one.
pillars.
Good pillar 2. Lands it on the
and
bridge.
Nails it.
Fantastic.
That's what you want to see.
Jump up. Frog capture complete. Great Emerald Coast from Nat. Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit was added to the list. Let's go.
Nightmare.
Dream.
You know what? I think it's time we mend our bonds. Handshake.
Handshake.
Difference of opinions. I disagree and I do not respect you, or at least your opinion.
You don't respect me as a person because of my opinion. Damn, that's tough.
Normalize being a hater. Pasta going through Emerald Coast now.
As Nat leaves to go grab the jet booster.
Oh, that's
no.
tough from Pasta. Taking a swim.
Rebounding off the back.
Not what you want to see as you're behind.
Pillar 1 lands it. Pillar 2. Oh no!
Oh no!
What?
And he takes another spill. Probably best to just not go for pillars this time.
Yeah, take the safety spring.
Natborn lining up for the clip out of bounds.
Oh, he's going for pillars. What? Nope. No, never mind. He's just going for the spring.
You know what? I respect that. He was teasing us a little. Natborn in hot shelter for Gamma. This, of course, could be where it all goes wrong if you do not get the right angle on wall run. Very scary territory here.
Yeah, he could have gone for the clip. I know it's not Nat's thing, but he had everything. He had the mode change. He just didn't destroy the box in time.
Going for that clip is scary.
Heading around the wall. It's time to line up the wall run.
Yep, take the booster up here, turn, and this could be scary, but he gets the angle miraculously.
He's up.
Flips out.
Heading for the right side. Gets the mode change. Gets that tiny little jump boost. He's really high. He has got it. That was a fantastic clip.
Being high there, generally better when you're going for the safer clip inbounds with the two pillars that you line up there.
Oh.
Pasta skating perfectly around the camera. That was insane. Pasta really is living out his skater dreams as he plays Gamma here. Natborn getting a fantastic hot shelter with Gamma. One of the cleanest I've seen this tournament as Pasta grabs the jet booster.
That was a fantastic hot shelter. That was by far the cleanest I've seen. That was comparable to some of the top runners we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. The hot shelter might give him an edge here if Pasta can't nail it. You know, Pasta last time during his first race during
He
this
was
tournament
struggling.
was struggling with this stage. Gets the clip. You know what? I respect
Real
that.
fast clip.
He went for it, didn't even bother breaking the box, which is a Chad move. But now he has to be careful here. He does not have a checkpoint to play with. So if he messes up and dies, that's going to be a huge time loss.
Oh, falls from the first wall run attempt.
As Natborn loading into Red Mountain
Falls
now.
from the second.
Pasta struggling with the clip, but
Good Red
Natborn
Mountain
on the
clip
other
for
hand.
Nat.
Yeah, getting it second try, I believe.
They're up. Pasta is going to opt for left side. He is grazing the wall, though. That's going to bring him really low. Yeah, it's too low. He's made it back into the box room. Yeah, I agree. Just go for this clip at this point. He did bounce, though. I always find it easier to turn sideways, but never mind. No!
Oh, he hit the train. Isn't this a soft lock?
This is a soft lock.
And he has to soft reset. Oh, that's so sad. That might just close it out. Natborn surely not going to make mistakes that cost him nearly 2 minutes at this point. That is tragic. We never want to see that happen in a race.
That is horrible to see. Getting soft locked in that level. I can't think of the name. Hot Shelter. It's soul crushing.
It is.
You either have to wait the 2 minutes for the timer to go out so Gamma falls over so you can try again, or you have to restart. At this point, I honestly don't know which would have been faster.
Oh, I see why Natborn was so high up in
Okay.
Windy Valley during his last race. He took the
He
spring
goes
up.
He takes the spring and he goes left. That's interesting. I've never seen someone go left before.
Natborn showing that lower strats are sometimes better because he is very consistent. And of course, consistency is a big deal, at least this early on in the tournament. If you mess up a trick, that could be your run. That could be you out of the bracket. This, of course, being a loser's round. The first that we've seen.
The loser of this is out of the tournament.
Yeah, and so far, never count him out, of course, but that looks to be Pasta. Pasta might be on his deathbed here as he gets a clean clip in, thankfully avoiding the soft lock for a second time into the final boss. This should be fine for Pasta, but it might just be too late. How much he can do to save this run now.
Because that was a strong Hot Shelter. Nat is going to have to make some massive mistakes for this to fall apart.
Yeah, of course, mistakes are never uncommon at the very end of a massive run like this. Of course, the world record for this run is 30 minutes. I think it's a 31:30. I forget. I'm getting on. Is Pasta going to fight Sonic before doing the trial menu glitch? Natborn, of course, setting his story flags from after doing the trial menu glitch. Gamma being the most broken run in this game, approximately 3 minutes ahead, and that might be it. 3 minutes seems really, really hard to make up this late into the run, unless Natborn can have some massive mistakes in Beta Merc to the final boss of Gamma, then I think this might just be it. This might just be over. Pasta getting a very nice clip out of bounds in Red Mountain, to be fair. That is quite the good Red Mountain for him. That's what he needs right now, but of course, we'll never know how much it actually matters until Natborn actually finishes. Thank you for the world record. It is a 30-minute run by Nixer, of course, Nixer being in this tournament.
Oh, wow, it's 30 exactly?
Banana Man. I do not know if it's 30 exactly. That might just be...
That'd be crazy if that's true.
Of course.
Command. Of course.
The Frugor command. Natborn going through the final boss of Gamma, hoping to not die at the very end. I have had that happen to me personally, so
yeah,
it is a tragedy when it does.
Me as well.
I trust that Natborn will play this safe. I'm sure at this point he's either thinking he's lost it or he's thinking that he's won it. So
I am
either
very
way,
curious.
I think he plays safe.
I'm very curious as to what Nat's thinking right now. Go ahead and let all those blasts rock. Got one last shot on Beta. Coming up on time. And that is going to be
for Natborn, a 34-36. I believe that is a big PB for him.
Yeah. Great job, Nat.
Nat getting a 34.
Go.
That's an absolutely cracked run from Natborn. Once again, proving that consistency is valuable. Playing a few slower strats does not mean you are counted out of the running. A 34 is a really good run.
That is a fantastic run for this category. A 34, that is a fairly girthy PB for him, putting him into the top 10 for sure in this category.
Yeah, nothing to scoff at, nothing to be unsurprised by either. I do think Natborn is a sleeper contender for this tournament. Of course, the consistency gets him some pretty big wins.
And the grind, don't diss on the grind. The mistakes that he made earlier were not present here. Not a single one. Anything that Team Toxic called him out on before, that shit is gone. He is now the natural born killer. He is one of the ones to look out for in this tournament for sure.
He's slowly proving himself to be a good fighter in this tournament. But, of course, we want to see that trend continue. If it all tapers off right at the end, then the fight will be for naught. But, of course, we wish him luck in his future races, as Pasta coming up on the Red Mountain Death Warp, and I think he might just think that he's lost this one. About 2 minutes separate their times now, 1:30 between the two.
We're going to see how this one ends up as Pasta. Will Pasta get early shot?
It's always an opportunity to swag a little bit.
Yeah, get the grind. It's hard to get. If you get even any little bit of practice, it helps.
It is a frame-perfect trick for those uninitiated. So, early shot saves a good chunk of time, and he gets it! What a swag player!
Yeah.
I do think we should give Pasta some credit here. This race would have been a lot closer had the Chaos 2 shenanigans not happened. I don't know if we'll be subtracting that from his time, because it is pretty unfair to keep it, in my opinion, but...
Yeah, I agree.
That's out of your control. It's whatever the judges decide. Outside of that, the only real thing that went wrong was the soft lock in Hot Shelter, which is very unfortunate to see. That's one of the dangers of going for the trick.
And
I think, honestly, yeah, doors too, fourth door. But, I mean, he could have, of course, come back from it. Like, I don't think doors count you out yet.
No, that's true.
Though, unfortunately, we do have to call a winner, and at the end of the day, that will be Natborn, regardless of not we include the Chaos 2, I believe. There was also Emerald Coast. He did take 2 spills, but...
Yeah, I did also forget about the pillars.
It's hard keeping track of what happens. Sad. A 37-37, a swag with the...
30, yes, timer swag.
You know what? I have to give a big props to Pasta. Actually, finishing out this run with a pretty respectable time of 37-37 is a lot trickier than it may seem. Mistakes in this category can add up very quickly, and if you aren't paying very close attention to how you are playing, it's very scary.
Absolutely. And again, this category does prove mastery over 3 different characters. That's a big ask. It's 3 completely different play styles, and you having to adapt to them back to back to back. It's hard.
It's a lot to keep in mind.
As I've stressed at the end of just about every set, this is not easy. These times, they are not easy.